What do soup cans, comic strips, and celebrities have to do with art? If you ask the artists of the pop-up movement, the answer would be everything. Emerging in the 1950s, gaining momentum in the 1960s, pop art blurred the lines between high art and popular culture or pop culture, reflecting the booming post-war consumerism, mass media, and celebrity obsession. Artists like Andy Warhol, Roy Lichtenstein, and Claire Oldenburg used everyday objects, advertising, and media imaginary as their subjects, making art that felt familiar, ironic, and sometimes a bit absurd. There are 5 main features of this art movement: mass production and consumerism, bold, bright colors, comic book imaginary, and popular icons, irony and satire, found objects and sculptures. Pop artists drew heavily from the consumer culture. Think of Andy Warhol's Campbell's Soup Cans, 1962, where the mundane act of buying soup at the supermarket becomes art. Warhol's use of screen printing techniques reflected the mass production methods of the time, mirroring the rise of consumer goods and disposable culture. Pop art is known for its use of bright, vibrant colors. Attention-grabbing through use of color was closely related to advertising and marketing that boomed back in the day, often borrowed from commercial packaging and advertising. Roy Lichtenstein, Wham! 1963, when its comic book style and bold primary colors is a classic example. The exaggerated contrasts and simplified lines gave the art a sense of immediacy and accessibility, much like products lining supermarket shelves. Lichtenstein's art famously borrowed from comic strips, using the Band-Aid dots printing technique to mimic the mechanical production of comics. Drowning Girl, 1953, ordinary disposable images from popular culture and elevate them to fine art. At the same time, Andy Warhol focused on celebrity culture with works like his famous portrait of Marilyn Monroe and Elvis Presley, exploring the idea of fame, repetition, and commodification. There is a layer of irony that runs through pop art. By taking ordinary objects and making them focus on fine art, pop artists were often poking fun at the artward obsession with elitism. Warhol portraits of Marilyn Monroe comment on the disposable nature of fame, where celebrities are mass-produced and consumed like products. Pop art wasn't just about paintings. It also moved into the 3-dimensional world with sculptures. Claes Oldenburg created oversized versions of everyday objects, like his giant hamburger, 1962, bringing humor and absurdity into a realm of art. These sculptures, made of soft, pliable materials, challenged traditional notions of sculpture as being rigid and monumental. Abstract Expressionism was all about emotion in its pure, raw form and artists' individual experience. Pop art was the opposite, cool, detached, and focused on the collective experience of consumer culture. Abstract Expressionism made you feel. Pop art made you think about what you were consuming, literally and figuratively. Pop art changed the game by showing that art could come from anywhere, even the supermarket aisle. It made art accessible in a way to a wider audience and paved the way for the postmodern and contemporary art. Today, the legacy of pop art can be seen everywhere, from fashion shows to advertising, as well as the continuing dialogue about the role of consumerism and media in our lives. And that's all about pop art, probably one of the most beloved art styles till these days. A vibrant, witty critique of consumer culture, where soup cans and comic strips can be just as important as oil paintings. Next, we'll enter the clean world of minimalism. where less is truly more. And as always, it was your host Nina, self-taught artist and art history enthusiast. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you let the algorithm know, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!